Attraction speaks in silence before it speaks in words. There are signals, tiny yet powerful, that reveal what someone truly feels but never says directly. You don't need a confession because desire has a language of its own. When you learn to read these signs, the truth becomes impossible to hide, no matter how carefully it's masked. The first sign often hides in plain sight, yet it carries the strongest weight of all. Eyes are more honest than words, and they betray desire long before someone dares to speak it. When attraction is present, the gaze lingers differently. It's not a quick glance or a polite acknowledgement. It's prolonged, deep, and charged with intensity. You feel it immediately because it doesn't just stop at your face. It feels like it reaches into you. His eyes don't wander away quickly as if distracted. Instead, they hold, they follow, and they return again and again as if magnetized. That consistency is not random, it's one of the oldest, most primal ways desire communicates itself. You might notice how his pupils subtly widen when he looks at you, an involuntary reaction the body can't control. Science confirms this, but you don't need a study to recognize it. You feel the energy of that gaze, the warmth, the spark, the tension building in silence. There's often a softness mixed with hunger, a strange contradiction that makes the look almost addictive. The intensity tells you that it isn't about casual admiration. It's about attraction that's both physical and emotional, simmering beneath the surface. Sometimes it's not only the length of eye contact, but the timing of it. You may catch him looking when he thinks you won't notice, and instead of looking away immediately when your eyes meet, he holds the moment a little too long. That split second feels heavier, more meaningful, like something unspoken is being exchanged. It's not just looking, it's connecting, it's revealing. And even if no words are spoken, the silence between the stares communicates more than a conversation ever could. It's also about the way the eyes travel. They might sweep across your face slowly, tracing your features with a careful focus, pausing at your lips, returning to your eyes again. That cycle repeats because attraction makes it difficult to resist. The gaze becomes a language of its own, saying what can't yet be admitted openly. And you will feel it in your body because being the center of such focused attention stirs something inside you too. When someone is sexually attracted, the eyes betray it every single time. They can pretend with words, they can hide behind politeness, but they cannot mask the desire in the way they look at you. That unspoken intensity is the first undeniable sign. Touch is never just touch when attraction is involved. It carries intention even when it's disguised as accidental. When someone feels drawn to you on a deeper, more physical level, the urge to close the distance becomes almost irresistible, and it shows through subtle gestures. A hand brushing against yours, a shoulder grazing yours in a crowded space, or fingers lightly pressing against your back as you walk through a door. These moments are never random. They are opportunities to connect, to test boundaries, to see how you respond to closeness. What might appear small on the surface carries weight. Because desire makes ordinary contact feel electric, you notice the difference between casual politeness and attraction in the way those touches linger. They don't withdraw instantly, they stay a fraction of a second longer than necessary. That slight delay sends a message. I want to be closer. The skin remembers it because even the lightest touch feels amplified when desire is behind it. The body reacts instinctively with a rush of warmth or a spark that lingers long after the moment has passed. There's also a pattern. Attraction doesn't express itself just once. It repeats in different ways. A playful nudge, a hand brushing a strand of hair away, fingers resting briefly on your arm during conversation. Each moment is subtle enough to be excused as casual, yet meaningful enough to make you question if it's something more. It's the tension between what can be denied and what can't be hidden. That's where the truth lies, in repetition, in intention, in the way physical space becomes smaller between you and him. It's not only about the act itself, but also about the energy around it. Before the touch even happens, there's often hesitation, a pause, as though the body is negotiating permission without words. That pause heightens the tension, and when the touch finally arrives, it carries more impact than it should. Even if the gesture is small, the meaning feels large because the attraction is not in the touch alone, it's in the intention behind it. When someone is sexually attracted, touch becomes their unspoken language. It's subtle, deliberate, and layered with meaning. Every brush of the skin becomes a question, every linger becomes an answer, and every repeated gesture is a silent confession of desire. When someone is truly drawn to you on a deeper, more physical level, touch becomes the unspoken language that gives it away. It's never random, never without meaning. A simple brush of the hand, a light tap on the shoulder, or the gentle guiding pressure of a palm on your back as you step forward. All of these may look casual on the surface, but beneath them lies intention. Desire makes people seek contact, even if it's disguised as playful, polite, or accidental. That's why these small touches often feel different, carrying a spark that lingers long after the moment ends. The difference lies in how long the touch stays. Casual gestures disappear quickly, almost forgettable, but when attraction drives them, there is a fraction of hesitation, a pause that feels loaded. It's as if time slows for just a second, long enough for you to notice, long enough for your body to register the energy. That's why even the slightest brush across your arm can feel far more intense than it should. Because it's not about the physical contact itself, but the intention behind it. Another clear sign is repetition. Desire rarely acts once and then disappears. You'll see these moments surface again and again, woven into interactions in ways that feel playful or natural, but carry a deeper undertone. A light tap during laughter, fingers grazing yours when handing something over, or leaning just close enough that the shoulders meet. These patterns build a rhythm. They aren't coincidences. They're consistent signals of someone trying to shorten the distance between you. It's also about the anticipation. Often, there's a noticeable pause before the touch even happens, a split second where the intention hangs in the air. That hesitation creates tension, making the actual contact feel amplified. In that moment, silence speaks louder than words, because both people sense the charge that builds in the space between. Touch is primal, and when attraction fuels it, it becomes one of the clearest indicators of hidden desire. It doesn't need to be bold or obvious. Even the smallest gesture carries weight when it's loaded with unspoken meaning. Every brush, every linger, every repeated moment of closeness whispers the same truth. I want to be nearer to you. The voice is one of the most revealing instruments of attraction because it naturally shifts without conscious effort. When someone feels a strong pull toward you, their tone changes in ways that are subtle yet undeniable. It may drop lower, slower, and smoother, carrying a warmth that wasn't there before. This isn't about the words themselves, but the way they are delivered, because desire has a way of shaping sound. A sentence that could have been spoken casually suddenly feels heavier, richer, and more intentional when attraction fuels the voice. You notice the difference most when the rhythm slows down. Conversations take on a deliberate pace, with pauses that seem longer than necessary, almost as if he wants each word to linger in the air between you. Silence becomes a tool, drawing you into the spaces between sentences, making the moment feel more intimate. It's as though the voice itself is pulling you closer, inviting you to pay attention, not just to what is said, but to how it is said. There's also a softness that blends with intensity. When desire is present, the voice carries a certain texture, gentler at times, huskier at others, and often infused with a teasing edge. Laughter may sound more playful, questions may be asked in a slightly more intimate tone, and even ordinary comments feel layered with unspoken meaning. The smallest shifts can turn a simple conversation into something charged, something that feels almost electric. Another sign is the way emphasis changes. Words that wouldn't normally stand out are given weight, often with subtle inflections that add a personal touch. Compliments, jokes, or even mundane observations are spoken with a certain attention that makes them feel directed at you and you alone. It's a voice that carries focus, interest, and an attempt to connect beyond the surface level. The real giveaway is how that voice makes you feel. It creates an atmosphere, A sensation of intimacy, even in public or casual settings. It lowers the walls of ordinary conversation and opens the door to something unspoken. The tone becomes less about communication and more about connection, less about exchanging information and more about weaving a thread of attraction. When someone is sexually drawn to you, their voice betrays them every time. It dips, slows, softens, and lingers. It becomes a melody of interest, a rhythm of desire, and once you notice the change, it's impossible to unhear. Body language is the silent script that never lies, and when attraction is present, it speaks louder than any words ever could. The human body naturally leans toward what it wants, and that instinct is impossible to fully control. When someone feels a strong pull toward you, you'll notice how they subtly shorten the distance, how their posture shifts to face you directly, and how their movements align with yours. It's as if their body is magnetized, unconsciously drawn closer without realizing it. The chest turns toward you, the knees angle in your direction, and the shoulders stay open instead of closed. These cues reveal a willingness to connect, to invite you into personal space without a single word spoken. One of the most telling signs is mirroring. When someone mirrors your gestures, crossing their arms when you do, leaning back when you lean back, or even matching the rhythm of your movements, it shows a subconscious desire to create harmony with you. Mirroring is not deliberate, it's instinctive. A way the body signals alignment and attraction. It's like a dance happening silently where two people fall into step without choreography. Leaning in is another powerful sign. During conversation, rather than maintaining a neutral distance, the body tilts closer, closing the gap between you. Even in group settings, you may notice the torso angled in your direction, signaling where the real focus lies. That lean carries weight because it defies comfort zones. It's the body's way of saying, I want to be nearer. Subtle nervous gestures also reveal attraction. Hands may fidget with objects, hair may be adjusted, or clothing smoothed out as if preparing to be seen. The energy feels restless, charged, alive. Even the way the eyes move plays into body language, glances down at your lips, quick shifts away, and then back again, all adding layers to the silent conversation happening between you. Proximity is perhaps the clearest indicator. When someone is drawn to you, they will find reasons to be close, choosing the seat beside you instead of across, stepping into your space casually, or brushing past you more often than necessary. These aren't coincidences, they are deliberate choices masked as chance, each one shrinking the invisible barrier between two people. When attraction burns quietly, the body becomes its messenger. The posture, the lean, the mirroring, the closeness, all of it combines to reveal what words are too cautious to say. In the end, body language is the rawest confession of desire. Compliments are more than just words when attraction is involved. They carry an energy that lingers long after they're spoken. Anyone can say something nice, but when desire is present, the way it's expressed feels different. More focused, more intimate, and often layered with meaning. Instead of generic phrases like, you look nice, the compliments tend to zoom in on details that reveal deeper attention. It might be the way your smile lights up a room, the way your laugh is contagious, or even the tone of your voice. These are not surface level observations. They are crafted to make you feel seen in a unique way, and that's where the difference lies. There's also a subtle edge of flirtation in the delivery. The tone might dip slightly, the smile may linger, and the words often carry double meanings that flirt around the edges of intimacy. A remark about how you always look good no matter what you wear, or how you have a certain glow that's hard to ignore, doesn't just flatter, it teases, it suggests, it creates curiosity about what else they might be thinking, but not saying out loud. The playful undertones in those comments are a way of testing the waters, of pushing the boundary between polite appreciation and personal desire. Another revealing sign is repetition. Attraction doesn't let someone stop at one compliment, it keeps finding ways to slip them into conversations. Sometimes it's direct, other times it's disguised as humor or light teasing, but the intention remains the same to remind you that you're noticed. This consistency shows that the compliments aren't casual, but rather a reflection of how often you occupy their thoughts. It's also important to notice timing. Compliments often arrive at moments when you least expect them, like in the middle of a casual conversation or during a quiet pause. That spontaneity is what makes them powerful. They feel unplanned, genuine, and almost impulsive, as if the attraction is too strong to keep hidden. What truly sets these compliments apart is how they make you feel. They don't just stroke your ego, they create a spark, a charged awareness that the words are carrying more than surface level meaning. They blur the line between admiration and seduction, between kindness and attraction. When someone is drawn to you, their compliments become confessions disguised as flattery, each one a subtle reminder of their desire. Attraction has a way of filling the air, creating an atmosphere that you can feel even without a single word or touch. When desire is present, the energy shifts the moment he walks into the room. Suddenly, the space feels charged, the silence feels heavier, and your awareness heightens as if every sense has been sharpened. This isn't about anything obvious. It's about the invisible pull that makes his presence impossible to ignore. You notice it in the way time seems to stretch when you're near each other, how ordinary moments feel more alive, more magnetic, more loaded with meaning. That tension often shows up in the pauses. When conversation stops, it doesn't feel empty. It feels like something unspoken is hanging in the air, waiting to be acknowledged. The silence isn't awkward. It's electric. You can sense it in the way his eyes hold yours, in the way his body seems restless, as though containing energy that wants to spill over. That current is undeniable, and once you've felt it, you know it's not your imagination. Attraction radiates, and it can't be disguised. Another sign lies in your own reaction to that energy. When someone is sexually drawn to you, your body often responds instinctively. You might notice your heartbeat quicken, your breath shorten, or your skin feel more sensitive simply because of their proximity. This is because desire is contagious. It creates a feedback loop where both people feel the charge feeding into each other, making every second together more intense. The tension often reveals itself in small, almost invisible ways. He might lean in but hesitate to close the distance fully, creating a push and pull that heightens awareness. Jokes may carry undertones, laughter may last a beat too long, and even the most casual conversations feel layered with something deeper. That blend of restraint and intensity is what makes the energy so unmistakable. It's not just comfort, it's desire carefully held back. When someone is sexually attracted, their very presence feels different. It's not just about what they say, how they look, or even what they do. It's about what you feel in the air around them. That magnetic pull, that undeniable charge, that sense that something more is always just beneath the surface waiting to be released. That is the final and most powerful sign. Attraction rarely announces itself with direct words. It speaks through signals, through energy, through the things a person cannot control. The eyes that linger longer than they should, the touches that feel intentional, the voice that softens into intimacy, the body that leans closer without thinking, the compliments that carry more weight than politeness, and the invisible tension that charges the air. All of these together weave a truth that cannot be hidden. You don't need someone to tell you outright when they're drawn to you, because their presence, their actions, and their silence already confess it. The key is to trust what you feel, because desire leaves traces everywhere, and once you learn to recognize them, the message becomes impossible to miss.